All right. Good morning. This is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Tuesday, the 28th of January. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right. Okay, I've got a couple of observations to make this morning. The first one is that this retracement that we have just seen was basically all tech. Almost all tech anyway, because if you look at RTY, it didn't actually come down much. YM didn't come down much, and actually has now made another high, although we may be about to get a weak 60-minute sell signal fixed. Basically, the retracement was really confined to ES and then Q on the US markets, although, we didn't actually see a lot of your indications on the Europeans of weakness either, although we do have a possible head and shoulder pattern forming on ESTX. What does this mean? Well, actually, it's all about this new AI thing, and this actually is quite important, and I think we might be seeing a larger retracement soon. It could just about be starting now, but what I'm saying is about half the growth in the markets last year was basically based on AI. And if there's going to be a major change there, and AI is going to get an awful lot cheaper, and an awful lot of the much more expensive money that's been pumped into it has been wasted, and all of the current leaders are threatened, then actually we could see a big decline here. It's led by tech. And so the question is, where does that leave us today? Well, at the moment, we've still got upside targets, and I'm not seeing any significant technical damage. I'm still expecting exactly what I said yesterday morning. We should bounce here, but we may see a retest of this overnight low at 59.50, and when we do, of course, we could just continue back down. If we find support around there, it's not a bad looking double bottom, and we can go up. So I think we may have an inflection point coming up, or we could just head up there directly. Now, exactly the same on Q. Pretty much on RTY, we never actually came back down much from the high, and this looks like a bull flag from the high. See, YM more complicated. We've actually already made it up to the retest of the high here. We've made pretty much the minimum double bottom target that we were looking at, although we are way short of that on RTY. This could be a little double top. There is some reason to think that we might reverse back down hard here, and that this might actually develop into something a lot deeper. There's an awful lot of market value in current AI bets, and that has faith in those has at least been shaken. But until we see some evidence to the contrary, I'm really expecting to see higher. Let's have a look at go over to the RTH charts and have a look at those. Now, the first thing to say is on the SPX daily chart, where did we come back and test? Pretty much a perfect test of the daily middle band. Where is the natural support on such a retracement? It's at the daily middle band. So at the moment, while we're holding the daily middle band, I mean, while we were holding that as resistance, that was main resistance, and right now it's main support, and we're holding it. If we see a sustained break below it, then that's a different story. But at the moment, we're not really seeing anything to indicate that. We have an RSI 14 sell signal fix, that's made target, and the RSI 5 sell signal made target on the hourly charts. We've made a retest of this high here. We do have a potential level top here, but until we see more evidence, I won't be taking it particularly seriously. I'm expecting to see higher. We don't have any open targets on SPX, but we do on the Qs. We're still looking for a retest of this high, and we haven't seen one yet. On Dia, still looking for a retest of the high, and even with the slightly higher high yesterday, we still haven't seen that yet either. We've got open targets above. We've not got a great deal to suggest downside. On the flip side, Dia is now forming a potential RSI 14 sell signal, but we're not really going to get much in the way of sell signals from SPX and the Qs until we go back and retest the highs. Looking at IWM, we've got no divergence there either, apart from the weak RSI 14 buy signal has not yet made target. We have, obviously, we're seeing what looks like a bull flag forming after we hit the 3SD upper band. I did warn that might happen. But is it particularly bearish? Not so far yet. No. On the 60-minute chart, we had a weak RSI 14 sell signal. That's reached the possible near miss target. And we have actually broken up slightly from the flag. Could this be a bearish overthrow before we then break down from the flag? Potentially, but there's not much to suggest that's going to be the case. I'm still leaning towards seeing the higher targets. I have been saying all along, I'm thinking we might be see another pullback that would be significantly larger afterwards, which might last for months. And I think we're now seeing the reason why that might actually get triggered. But at the moment, I'm not seeing much evidence to suggest that high is already in. So that's where I'm standing here. Let's have a quick look at the short terms on these. SPX, could this be a flag? No. But it could just be a 50 back, well, more or less, bullish retracement. Qs, could this be a flag? No. Bit more than 50% on here, but we're still respecting this open breakaway gap at the start of the last move. Nothing strongly to suggest this is about to go higher. I would say though that we do now have a rather messy but possible 15-minute buy signal brewing. Nothing on the hourly chart and certainly nothing on the daily. We'll see how that goes. If we retest the highs, are we going to get RSI 5 sell signals? No, we came down too far. Or at least we didn't rally enough yesterday to undo the damage that was done at the start of the day. So we're not going to be looking for those on the SPX or the Qs. Which is not that disappointing. It's interesting. And we have broken below the daily middle band on the Qs. But that's the only one really which has broken below the daily middle band so far. There's not really an awful lot of weakness that we are seeing elsewhere. So anyway, I'm sticking with it. I'm going to do a post today basically saying that and just explaining in easy terms why. But that's what I'm looking at here. Does this have the power to be the potential power to be a trigger for the larger move that I've been talking about? Yes. Is there much sign that that has already started? No. I really don't think there is. So we will see how that goes. All right, great. Let's have a look at we'll just have a look at DAX and Nikkei. DAX saw a bit of a pullback just as well after this incredible power up. It's not an awful lot, but we are potential sell signals if we go higher. Nikkei getting back into the 40.4 area, still skeptical about getting a retest of 42.4 with what we've seen in the last couple of weeks. All right, let's have a look at the dollar. Dollar has broken down from a head and shoulders. If we see a break up over 108.4, then this head and shoulders will fail. We could just reject back up to the high. We will see. But I've got quite a few patterns on the currency pairs suggesting that we might actually see this go lower directly. USD, nice looking double bottom. Sorry, IHS, which is broken up. GBP USD, nice looking IHS, which is broken up. USD JPY has now made the minimum dollar top target, but there's still the extended target at the annual pivot at 153.15. USD CAD still hasn't broken down from the possible double top here and isn't close to doing that. Australian dollar, nice looking double bottom here, might be failing. We will see. And NZ, okay looking double bottom there either. We'll see how it goes, but it's not compelling that dollar's about to turn back up. This is an opportunity for it to do so. ZB, I've got a potential bear flag here, and I'm liking it. We've also, on the flip side, got a potential inverted head and shoulders neckline here. If I run that across, it would almost exactly go to here, so we could be forming a right shoulder. So I think we're probably going to get a significant break one way or the other. Either this breaks down, heads back to the lows, we form an IHS, and we break up and extend higher. Looking at TNX, just quickly, there is obviously an argument for going at least a bit lower. And you can see the possible head and shoulders forming here. You could draw it across here and argue that it's already been formed, maybe. But there is an argument for going lower, and rising support is a little lower in about the 44.2 area on TNX. All right, CL. Now this is a good one. I drew this about a week ago, and this head and shoulders has now made target. What does that mean? Well, not necessarily anything, but it now means we don't have a downside target on CL. And really, this whole thing from here is kind of like a bull flag. And I'm wondering if it might be a bull flag. We could, of course, also be, hang on one second, I'll just draw the line. We could, of course, be forming a larger head and shoulder pattern, kind of like the setup we've got on TNX at the moment. We will see how that goes. But could this go lower? Easily. Is there support from natural gas? Hang on, just get that to that in a second. Yes, although it could fail. We've got an NG, we've got a nice looking head and shoulders, and that's now halfway to target. Now, I've been mentioning every bigger picture for, a lot. I've been mentioning for a while that obviously we are in a seasonal downtrend, generally speaking, and most years we will make a significant low somewhere between February and April. And this year, I'm speculating that low may come from the move starting here. So I'm thinking we may well make this target. I've got that in the 2.85 area, and I'm thinking energy might be in for a bad couple of weeks and possibly a bad couple of months. We will see. All right, let's have a look. Most importantly here on CL, we've broken back below the daily middle band. Sorry, the 200 DMA. Now, we may be coming back up to retest that, but that's a bad break if it holds. And could open more downside. And really, I think obviously Trump's talking a lot to try and get it down. How effective that talk will be, I don't know, but I was quite impressed with what he managed with Colombia in accepting the migrants. I didn't think they'd cave. We'll see. Okay, let's have a look at GC. GC, I'm still expecting to see a retest the all-time high. That will happen faster, in all probability, if we see the dollar continue going down here. SI looks like a bull flag megaphone at the moment. On HG, we had the head and shoulders, it broke down, and it failed. This isn't really a substitute head and shoulders, in my view. It's not, or at least not a good one. The better head and shoulders, the one that's already failed. On the other hand, that's a trend line, but it isn't necessarily a head and shoulder neckline. What that could easily be. Hang on, bear with me a second. Sorry, I quite like doing the some of the charts while you guys are watching because it's useful. As if you can follow the process while I'm going through it, it's easier for you to learn. All right, what that could be is obviously, in effect, a failed head and shoulders is a bull flag. This could actually, and sometimes you will actually see that bull flag form as well. This could be that bull flag. And I'm thinking it might well be. So that would be the bull flag forming here, the head and shoulders. The breakup has a target to retest the high. A breakup from this flag would have a second target, an independent target at a retest of the high. So we'll see. All right, let's have a look at KC. KC's thinking about it. We're still on daily RSI 14 sell signal. We've now got an a 60-minute sell signal fixed, and we've got a possible nested double top forming here, or possibly a head and shoulders into the larger double top. I am wondering about retracement. SB, we've seen a nice rally here on buy signals. I think that's got further to go, and the obvious target is the possible inverted head and shoulder neckline just under 20, and the monthly pivot at 20. Just noting on all the monthly pivots, obviously, they're only the monthly pivots until the close on Friday. There's all new monthly pivots on Monday. So they've only got a few days left. Right, CC. I'm leaning cautiously towards a retest of the high, but the problem is the pattern setup's a mess. So I'm not sure I really trust it. We could be forming a large pattern which wouldn't be such a mess. ZW, at the moment, this is looking like it might come back and retest the low. If this is an inverted head and shoulders forming, it's coming a bit deep for the low of the right shoulder, but still could be valid if it goes directly up from here. On corn, we had a nice looking double top here, which broke down. Could be rejecting, but if it doesn't, I've got a target at about the 466 to 468 area. Looking at soy, possible. Well, we've got a little double top. No, it's a head and shoulders here actually. Yeah, this is a little head and shoulders, and that's broken down with a target in about the 1015 area, 1016 maybe, and we're determining whether or not that's going to break down. If it does, we could, 1018 area has got another possible head and shoulder neckline. The weak 60-minute sell signal has reached the possible near miss target. Looking at cotton, This at the moment is broken up for a double bottom and it's showing absolutely no signs of that forming, and really it's looking like a bear flag forming, setting up a probable retest of this low here in the 66.6 area. Lumber actually is clarifying. I really had nothing to go on in terms of the pattern setup, but now I'm wondering. We got a resistance trend line. I think this is actually an appropriate size. This could be a flag. I'm watching that with interest, which wouldn't necessarily need to be a channel, but if it was a channel, we'd be looking at a target at about the 551 area. But I am wondering if this is basically a bullish consolidation. So this has actually started to clarify. On live cattle, has gone over my trend line here. Not really seeing an awful lot of reason for this to turn back down. We've still got a 60-minute sell signal, but that almost failed yesterday. And if we go up any further, that could well fail today. HE, back over the monthly pivot and weekly pivot. Maybe this is returning back to the high. Not a lot of indication one way or the other. All right, let's have a look at questions. No questions at the moment. Does anyone want me to look at platinum or palladium? Because I'm quite happy to if you want me to. All right, just to review. Okay, I think I've been leaning towards, just from a pure TA point of view, I've been leaning towards seeing a significant retracement at some point in the first 2 quarters this year. I think we might have just seen the trigger for that, in which case, of course, we could just head down directly from where we are now and not retest the highs or make the current targets. But we haven't seen any evidence to suggest that we are going to do that. So I think the lean until we see a conviction break of the daily middle band on SPX. My lean is that we're going to continue up and make those targets. We've not got much of a topping setup here. That doesn't mean it can't deliver, but it means that until we've broken support, we've held it. So my lean is that we're probably going to continue holding it. And I'm thinking the natural place to go up from here is possibly after a retest of yesterday's lows. I think the natural direction to go is up. All right. Palladium. We've been seeing a bit of a retracement after it made the double bottom target. We could be forming an IHS right shoulder, but ideally we would go up into the 1055 area before doing that. I'm leaning bullish on all of the metals, as you know. And what I would note actually on the platinum chart here is that we've got a potential IHS right shoulder forming. And this one's actually quite a nice one. If that breaks up over the 1005 area, we could just see a return to this high here in the 1073 area, or maybe a bit higher. Given that I'm expecting to see a new all-time high on gold probably within a couple of weeks maximum, and very possibly within a couple of days, I'm thinking that doesn't look unreasonable. All right, let's have a look at the ES charts again. Okay, until we break support, my lean is that we're going to go higher. We've still got some open targets on the upside. NQ, the Qs and Dia basically got pretty close to the targets, and I'm not seeing any reason to think that they won't make those targets. That's what I'm going to say in my post today. I could be mistaken, but if I'm mistaken, then we will start breaking some significant support levels, and then we've got a different story playing out. But until then, that's my lean. What does that mean sport is? Well, in terms of RTH, this is where the daily middle band is, down here in about the 6012 to 6015 area on ES. That's the daily middle band on SPX I'm talking about, of course. As long as that area is holding, or even if we go down intraday, we test this low and come back up, I'm leaning towards the upside, and I think we've got more to go. After that, I think all bets are off. If we see a decent topping setup form, then that could be the start of the large retracement, which there are TA reasons to think is coming soon. So that may not happen. Wouldn't be the first time bearish setup and layup didn't play out, but I think in this time actually it's got a decent shot. We've come a long way in the last couple of years. There's a lot of froth on this market. I don't think we're going to have that kind of a year again this year, but I could be mistaken. We shall see. All right, great. In that case, catch you tomorrow, guys. Should be an interesting day. Look out for the post.